Hello folks, Tech Sasquatch here, back with another unboxing and overview. As you can see this time, I have the BitFenix Comrade computer case. Regular price was $50 Canadian, but I managed to find it for $30. And real quick before we get into it, I'm just going to show you the specs rundown. Alright, first of all, materials are steel and plastic. There's only two colors, black or white, but they are available either with or without a window. Supports up to ATX motherboards, 7 PCI slots, as well as a single USB 3, USB 2, and audio ports, so headphones, microphone. 3 5¼ inch bays, 3 3.5 inch bays, as well as 3 2.5 inch bays. So compatible with whatever kind of drive or front bay you may want to put on the in your system, because all 3 5¼ inch bays are front accessible. And here it says cooling top, but it's actually the front. It holds up to 2 120mm fans, and at the back it holds one 120. I'm not sure if this one comes with a fan or not. I've heard the windowed version does and the non-windowed doesn't. We'll just see what happens when we open it. And it also comes with a few features you wouldn't expect on a budget case, such as a couple dust filters and toolless drive cages. And here's just a quick look at the back of the case, just for funsies. They still managed to put a fair amount of information on here on this, even though it's a budget case. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box, see what it actually looks like. Well, here it is, YouTube. White windowed BitFenix Comrade. As you can see, other than the window, it's a pretty plain case. Nothing up top. No fanciness around the back. A nice, clean front face. Just a simple black BitFenix logo at the bottom. My only complaint so far is that the metal and plastic paint don't quite match. But that's pretty common on budget cases. It is hard to get those two materials to look the same. At the back here, it does look like the expansion slots actually stick out a little bit. So you would have to secure your cards from outside the case and put this unfortunately black cover back on. And power supply mounted on the bottom, which is pretty standard, as well as a small power supply filter, which is quite nice to have on a case this price. And then at the top there's actually even two just pass-through holes for water tubing. But I think that's about it for the outside. We'll get the side panel off, take a look at the inside. Okay, I lied. A couple more points before we move inside. The back thumb screws appear to be plastic and metal. I'm not too happy about that, but whatever. They still work. But the other good point I missed is the nice tall feet on the bottom of the case. So you can put it on thinner carpets and it should still be okay. Although really only do that if you have to. Okay, the first thing we see when we go in the case is this bag of accessories, which is just zip ties, manual, as well as various screws and standoffs you'll need to install your parts, and the missing slot cover from the back of the case. And then up in the top rear here, we have the one pre-installed BitFenix fan. That's just a regular 3-pin. And at the front here, I was right. They do not include the fan anymore. but we have the removable dust filter. And the thing to note about this setup is that the fans actually screw into the dust filter itself. And the front panel is accessed by just grabbing a hole at the bottom of the front face and just pulling up and out. Okay, and at the front here, we see all the vent holes that were cut so that airflow can actually get through the drive cage into the case. And those holes are on the other side of the cages as well. And just over to the left side of the case here. But here we have power button, reset button, as well as microphone headphone port, single USB 2 port, and single USB 3. They're in kind of a weird location, but that doesn't really bother me. And at the top, again, you can see they've left one of the bays uncovered, just assuming you're going to use that. Looking through the right panel here, we have our front panel connectors, as well as USB 2, USB 3, and HD audio ports. And I like that other than the USB 2 and audio, they are all black. That's a nice touch for a budget case. Yeah, at the top, near the front here, we have our toolless DVD bays. These locks here, you just kind of grab by the tab at the middle, turn to the left, and it just pops right off. You can slide your drive in, and then once it's in, pop the piece back in, turn to the right, and it'll lock it. Directly beneath that, we have our three 2.5-inch drive sleds. And at the bottom, we have three 3.5-inch sleds. And the thing I like about these is they actually expand in the middle to make it easier to pop your drive in. And then at the back of the system here, you can see the motherboard tray and all the various standoff points, because this does support mini ITX, micro ATX, and ATX motherboards, as well as a fair amount of cable management holes. And there's one more hole up in the corner here for routing CPU power, fan cables, whatever. As well as, if you have a small enough motherboard, another management hole here for USB and audio cables, front connectors, that sort of thing. Okay, viewers, looks like I missed something the first time around. For an ATX motherboard, you don't need standoffs. There's already these little standoff bumps to hold the motherboard away from the tray. That's a nice touch. So I think the only thing left to do for this system, or for this case, is to put a system in it and tell you folks how that goes.